Shalom. Pastor Harkin back at you with this truth, giving all praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Wakakwadash, giving all praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Wakakwadash. And I'm going to entitle this video 2023, the year from hell. And this is not me giving a name to the next year. This is from the news. This is a breaking news. Also other topics. So let's see where the Spirit leads me with this. I want to touch on this a bit, and I would like to speak on this at the Most High willing, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ratazah. I would love to speak on this through the Spirit on the highways and the byways, but let's see where the Spirit takes me. Anyway, I'm gonna briefly kind of go into this. So it says, and there's a video that I watched dealing with this. Let me see if I can bring up the video. Bear with me for a minute. Okay, I don't remember. A bunch of videos came up. Okay, this was put up one day ago. 2023 will be the year from hell. There's this other guy that he's no longer on YouTube. Maybe they took his video down. He's on Rumble. Bear with me for a minute. I don't know if they took it down, but they have. Let me come back over here. So it says 2023 will be year from hell. Martin Armstrong. Now the guy that was interviewed, his name is Martin Armstrong. Let me do this. I'm gonna bring up the video. I'm not gonna play it, but you can watch it. Bear with me for a minute. Habakkuk chapter 2 is popping off like popcorn. You can't even keep up with these prophecies, the fulfillment of prophecies on top of prophecies. Everything's moving fast. Our Lord said, I behold Satan fall as lightning from the earth, to the earth. So let me take this individual's name. As soon as it comes up. Bear with me, that's all you could do. And one of my other topics I wanted to go into as well is pushing his word. Everybody that knows that the Israelites are all the former one Westers, all the current brothers that accept the fact that the Israelites should be on fire with this word, with constantly putting out videos, always out there on the highways and the byways, and no breaks in this thing. You're less than a man of the Lord if you call yourself taking breaks. Okay, let's do this. Bear with me for a minute. Okay, I'll do it this way. Wait, I'll do it this way. This is the madness of the church. This is Geno Jennings, Complete Madness. You have no choice but to bear with me or change the channel. Bottom line, going into this work, you got to be on fire. You know, where this is the Acts. You go into the book of Acts. This is Acts all over again. Acts means is short for action or actions. Come on, man. If you're waiting for something to happen before you go out there and be on fire, things have been happening, man. This whole year, 2022, last year, 2020, last year, 2019, that's when the Crown Vicky came on the scene. That's when everything, this economy's all jacked up. Okay, let me just do this. It says 2023 will be year from hell. Martin Armstrong. Let me click on this. Okay, so this is an individual right here. 2023 will be the year from hell. Martin Armstrong. Legendary. Okay, this is a Greg Hunter. That's a video. I believe they kicked him off of YouTube. That's him when he was a lot younger. Anyway, let me come down to the video. So this is the video. He's being interviewed by Hunter. What's his name? Mark Hunter? Greg Hunter? Greg Hunter, I'm sorry. I said Mark Hunter. So this is embedded into his site, but if you click it, normally it'll take you to YouTube or it takes you to Rumble. Rumble is just another YouTube. It's just like Odyssey. I mean, Odyssey's has not been messing with us, so yeah, he used to have a YouTube page. Greg, he might still have it. I don't know. Greg Hunter's USA Watchdog. Okay, let me just find this. Bear with me for a minute. Okay, this is the IUIC. Whatever the starting point is, I would think that they started from New York. How many thousands of churches did they pass to get to this church down here in Philadelphia? You know, from New York City to Philly, we're talking what? 2 hours? Something like that. Do the math, 2 hours, I would say. Maybe more, maybe less. So when they came down here and they drove down here, they left early in the morning and they must have drove past 250,000 churches that they could have went to, but they chose to go to this one. You know, the Most High, there's no scripture in this, there's nothing in the scripture that says go to one particular church. And the bottom line, they didn't listen. So that was a waste of time. You're doing your will and not the will of the Father's. Let me just look at this real quick. Understanding Revelation 2, verse 17. Keep your eyes open, Jake. Yep, and do the work. If you claim to be a prophet on authority, watching Tariq Nasheed, new one, Tariq Nasheed versus a suspected agent troll. Got a lot of agents out there. There's agents in all your camps, especially your major camps. Okay, I'll get a chance to watch this. This is live. This is heavy. So this, hey, you're gonna get a lot of people just because of the title. This is heavy. Okay. So let me do this here. Martin Armstrong. Okay, I gotta watch this guy, man, because Martin Armstrong, he's a writer for a magazine or paper or whatever. The collapse of the Republic. I don't think he's talking about the Roman Republic. But he got his own page. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna subscribe to it, follow him. You gotta watch this one day ago. Martin Armstrong. You don't understand the magnitude of what's about to happen. I know you don't understand the magnitude as to what's about to happen. Martin Armstrong, the end of Ukraine, Zelensky, Martin Armstrong. It says Martin Armstrong, end of Ukraine. Oh, there's stories out of super soldiers. You're not going to find a lot of information on YouTube. Super soldiers in Ukraine. Let me do this. See, we know that all hell is getting ready to break loose. And who knows that besides us? The educated, well-educated people in politics, global politics, geopolitics. Anyway, let me do this. Okay, let me do this here. Ukraine of using mutant soldiers. Russia accuses Ukraine of using mutant soldiers on the Ukrainian side. Now I was watching this one video. I don't know where it is. If I can find it, I'll put it up in the description box. But that they're injecting these guys with something that came out that was invented, made, put together out of the Wuhan lab in China. And we know for a fact that the US backs them and gives them aid, financial aid. So they're working. So what they're doing, they're linking these mutant super soldiers. They're also known as super soldiers. And the reason why they're known as super soldiers, because Russians military are bugging out because they're shooting these guys and they keep coming. They're hitting them with whatever projectiles normally a normal man would fall down and die. These guys will be getting their arms shot off and they still coming. They're getting shot in the chest and they're still moving. So you got to hit them bunch of times and completely destroy the body to stop them. So this is something, like I said, the backstory is this. They're putting something, injecting something into their system, their bloodstream, whatever, and it's changing their whole DNA. So they're in essence, they're robots, because Russia should have been took them out, but they keep saying that the U.S. is backing them up, and the laboratory that they use is out of Wuhan, China. This monkeypox, they said it comes out of Wuhan, China, that it's man-made. So you got to be careful, man. And see, I did a video, but I had to put it on Odyssey about General Yohana convincing people to take the chip, that you're stupid if you don't take it, that it's there to help you. He said, I'll take 3, 4 of them bad boys. He's clearly an insider. And he's another guy that you don't see him out. He'll tell you he's a top general, a top prophet of the Lord. He's a number 3. You got Yahweh. He's even over the Holy Spirit. You got Yahweh Shai, and then you got Yohana. The guy never goes out. You hardly ever see the guy. And the scriptures say to mark that type of man. See, a lot of you guys that are in Israel, you just pick the guy, oh, I like, this group, I like that group. And you come in, you leave your brain at home. And whatever that guy says, you just go by. That's a cult right there. It said Russia. It said Russia accuses Ukraine of using mutant soldiers. Rush hour, 4 days ago, a pair of Russian lawmakers have accused Ukraine of working with the United States to create mutant super soldiers in a biolab. Bio meaning body, like you have a term. The term is biometrics. Bio meaning the body, the human body, and metrics meaning measure. Ultimately, when they introduce the world to the Karagna, that's biometrics right there. No trust to Russian claim of Ukrainian mutant soldiers. So this guy Zelensky, he doesn't give a damn about his people. They were talking about a couple of weeks ago that they're going to put women on the front line. So remember, they allowed women and children to leave and old people, but now they're saying, no, women can't leave. You should have left a long time ago. So they're putting you on the front line, meaning you're desperate. It says Russia says it's losing because Ukraine, the Daily Beast 4 days ago, never mind a myriad reports of shoddy equipment and Russian troops ditching the war. The real setback, according to lawmakers, was mutant. Let me click on that. And they have the technology. The $6 million man, now it's a $6 billion man. Russia says it's losing because Ukraine has experimental mutant troops created in secret biolabs. And what they're doing now with everything is experimental. The so-called the jab or the yab, the jump shot, that's experimental per the FDA. They didn't approve it. They approve it for experimental reasons, meaning we don't know what's going to happen 5 years from now. Because you have to test, you got to come up with a vaccination. It could take you 15 years. It'll be a miracle if you come up with a vaccine for any disease, let's call it, in 10 years. But they did it inside of like 9 months. It says, never mind the myriad reports of shoddy equipment and Russian troops ditching the war. The real setback, according to lawmakers, was mutant Ukrainian soldiers. Let me read a little bit more. Nearly 5 months into its census war against Ukraine, Russia has concocted a wild new explanation for why the Kremlin's plan for a quick takeover fell apart. To speculate, give me a second. Spectacularly, tongue twisted to me, because Ukrainian troops were turned into superhuman killing machines during secret experiments in American-run biolabs, of course. So we don't know. We don't know. You know, it's Russia's story against their story. Never mind the myriad reports of Russian troops refusing to fight by thousands, sabotaging their own shoddy equipment, and even deliberately wounding themselves to abandon the war. Russian lawmakers claim the real setback for Moscow was drugged up Ukrainian soldiers. Like I said, we don't know. We don't know. So you can watch, look at, read the rest of this. So let's come back over here from the Daily Beast. And like I said in the beginning of this video, we're definitely in the time of Habakkuk 2. Bear with me for a minute. All right, let me come back over here. Okay, I don't want this. I had the Martin Armstrong. Bear me for a minute, I'm sorry. I think I lost this page. Come on, man. Okay, we're back. I'm trying to find this guy. Let me do this again. I'm a little all over the place. I didn't plan anything. Okay, here it is. Bring this back. Legendary financial and geopolitical cycle. So he deals with global politics. Analyst Martin Armstrong says the time to prepare is now for what is coming in 2023. So we have as of August, we have 5 months for 2023. Armstrong Socrates, which is a computer, Socrates computer program is predicting 2023 will be the year from hell. Armstrong explains our computer is predicting a war cycle. You got to think a term called proxy wars. You have Russia fighting against the Ukraine, and this war has been going on since 2014. And on the border, you have Poland. Poland is a member of NATO. If the war spills over into Poland and Poland gets involved, retaliates, that's called a proxy war. So if Russia then goes to war against Poland, the other NATO nations have to get involved. And that's World War III. And that's something that this guy, Biden didn't want. He said, oh, we can't do that because that'll be World War III. And that's the end of this man's system, which is going to happen anyway. But before that happens, everybody has, not everybody, but the mass majority of the planet has to be Karagmat. And we here are the only ones. Well, Sakari, they go into it as well. They got to give credit to Sakari. They go into it as well. But a lot of these other camps, they don't really go into it. The HODC, they know, but they really don't push it. The main focus now is, what time are we living in? Are we living in a time of peace or a time of war? We're living in a time of war. We're living at the end of this man's society. The Lord read out of Isaiah 61 and Luke 4. He said to free the captives, to liberate the captives, right? Well, they took it as we're going to be liberated from the Romans, and he was right. But they didn't know that there was going to be a second leg of the Roman Empire, the deadly wound being healed. See, we're known for prophetic things. We always go into the prophecies over and over and over again. Most High willing, I'm going to get in on the street. I want to get back into 2nd Ezra 15 and 2nd Ezra 16, 2nd Ezra 13, because we're in that time. Our computer is predicting a war cycle that hits in 2023, but that is also civil unrest. Civil unrest. That's already happening around the world. And the United U.S. military, the mainstream media, the MSM, they might speak on it briefly. There's revolutions and wars going on all over the planet, man. You got U.S. troops in Syria. There's a war. They're not mentioning it though, but guess what? The U.S. have declared a war against the Syrians, man. So that's coming to the what? The Valley of Decision. And all nations are going to wake up because they're going to get tired of these invasions, whether it be Russia, whether it be China invading Taiwan, whether it be Russia invading the Ukraine, whether it's the U.S. invading Arab countries like Syria. That's in the news. And they're telling you, oh, we're here for humanitarian reasons. No, they're there to take the resources of this place, of Syria. So things are heating up. Things are heating up. Joel chapter 3, Isaiah chapter 13, Jeremiah 49, 50, and 51. Just to name a few. Just to name a few. Mostly Revelation, or the book of Revelation. It says because, where is it? Civil unrest. Let me just look up the word civil unrest. I know what it means, but okay, let's go to civil unrest. Civil unrest. Definition. Civil unrest, definition and meaning. Civil unrest is fighting between different groups of people living in the same country, and losses caused by this fighting are usually not covered by insurance. Civil unrest, Law Insider. Let's see what that says. Civil unrest means organized acts of violence at different locations within a state. Civil unrest means the gathering of more than one person in action to an event with the intention of causing a public disturbance, inclusive of violent protests, or disorders. So, you know, you got it tells you in the Apocrypha, up and uproars of the people. Speaks about uproars of the people. So I'm not going to read the whole article, but it says Armstrong explains our computer is predicting a war cycle that hits in 2023, so it's going to get far worse. Jacob's trouble. Could 2023 be the year of Jacob's trouble? But that is also civil unrest. Why? Food shortages, gas shortages, gas going up, which was started back in the end of mid to the end of 2019. They said the inflation was temporary. Come on, they knew it wasn't temporary, but the public, they believe it because they don't understand how geopolitics or global politics works. So you are looking at revolutions and etc. because of what? Inflation. Should be hyperinflation. Inflation that's not checked becomes hyperinflation. Our projections on oil is that it is going to go up dramatically. So let's say sometime in 2023, every time you go get gas fill up, you know, it might be $5 one day, then $5.50 the next day, then $6.25 the next day, then seven whatever, and then $10 and $20. What do you think people are going to do? When people have nothing left to lose, they lose it. Uproars of the people. The second Ezra chapter 15, second Ezra chapter 16. Our projection on oils is that it is going to go up dramatically into 2023. It's going to be the same thing, I think, for gasoline prices. I just said that. This is just not over yet. The euro looks so it's going to get worse before it gets worse. Time of Jacob's trouble. The euro looks like, which is in prophecy, death. The euro looks like death warmed over. Our computer is projecting the continued decline of the euro. Daniel chapter 2, around about the 40th verse on down. And rising commodity prices. What's commodity? Gold, silver, copper, platinum, palladium, just to name a few of the metals. That's a commodity. That's, by the way, gold and silver is real money any damn way. And they're manipulating the prices, they're keeping it low. Everything's going up except for gold and silver. No, you know that you're in an inflationary period or hyperinflationary period when gold and silver goes up. When these commodities go up, they're not going up. So they're manipulating the prices to keep them low. Because you don't understand. James 5, one of my favorite chapters. With these sanctions in Russia, you just had to let the leader of Hungary say Europe is committing suicide. Now, what Biden called for is to not receive or buy oil from Russia, but now it's backfiring. The Germans and other NATO nations are saying, look, we're going to die if we don't get Russia from oil from Russia. So they're making deals with Russia. Now they're forced to make deals. This is the end of your society, man. All hell is breaking loose. I said the sanctions are hurting Europe more than they are hurting Russia. Russia don't care because Russia is dealing with who? A major nation, China, the BRICS nations. This is like a shot to the lung. They can't even breathe at this stage. So, you know, ultimately, what's going to be fulfilled is Revelation 17, starting from the 12th verse, I believe, not about the 12th verse, about the them shooting fire on the whore, because you got the Babylon, barking out orders, but it's hurting these other people. It's hurting the American people because of Biden's policies. Everybody wants his approval ratings are down to what, the 20s? He's the worst president in the history of America, and maybe the last. So let me give you a precept here. Give you a quick precept. Then I'm gonna close. Matthew 24. This is what our Lord spoke about, Matthew 24. In Matthew 24, the glorious return, immediately after the tribulation, the year of hell, Jacob's trouble. That's when the Lord's going to come back. And it mentions Michael in Revelation 12, and it also mentions Michael in Daniel 12. Okay. Give you a couple of basic precepts here. Isaiah 14. We go over these prophecies over and over and over again. What does the first couple of verses say? Ultimately, the Most High is going to save the sons of Israel, the 12 tribes of Israel. And the nations that enslaved us, start number one on the list is the so-called, are the Edomites. They're going into captivity. So this is definitely getting ready to happen. And when it speaks about Babylon, it's talking about this place. The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. Why? Because they know that this man took this oppressor, oppressed the whole world. Hell, meaning the grave, from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. That's, the nations are coming up, and the West is going down. So they're going to help them go down by way of war. Let the weak say, I am strong. It stirreth up the dead for thee. Even all the chief ones of the earth, the various leaders of the earth, they're going to see that this is not advantageous to us to listen to Biden and his policies. And they're getting tired of even looking at an Edomite. He shall be a what? A chaste robe. What does it say in Genesis chapter 4? If they see me, they will kill me, right? And that's a fulfillment of Genesis chapter 4. Now they want to kill you because you done messed up the whole world. The creature waiteth for the manifestations of the sons of the Most High. Who are the sons of the Most High? The Israelites, starting with the elect, the prophets. We have all the keys. We have all the answers. And trust me, they're watching all of our videos. It have raised up from their thrones. These are the leaders of the different countries, all the kings, presidents. Kings just mean a ruler. You call yourself a president, you're still a king of the nations. All they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Let the weak say, I am strong, right? Joel 3, I believe that's also Isaiah 13. Art thou become like unto us? So the great equalizer would be these intercontinental ballistic missiles. Thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vials, thy music, the worm is spread under thee, and the worm covered thee. The worm represents, if you look that word up in the Hebrew, I'm not going to go to it, it means corrosion. Your bridges are collapsing, your roads are collapsing. That's why you got to create, they say print, I say create these fake fiat dollars. Fiat meaning let it be. The government says this is money. According to what the government says, then this is money. That's called fiat money. If they said licorice sticks was money, and the government said that, that's you gonna have to trade in licorice sticks. So people are finding out that the so-called American dollar, the FRN, Federal Reserve note, is nothing but a goddamn piece of paper. You're finding out that the Constitution is nothing but a goddamn piece of paper. Is that how art thou fallen from heaven, oh Lucifer? Yeah, you got to stoop these dumbass churches saying that there was a war in heaven, when the spiritual demon Satan is still taking orders from the Most High, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, on the left-hand side. Lucifer is talking about the elite of you so-called, you Edomites, son of the morning. The beacon, you have the beacon of light. Everybody dreamed to come to America. Everybody's leaving America right now. Isaiah 13. How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? Through your policies, you have weakened the nation. Through your democracy, you have weakened the nation. That's why in Sri Lanka, they busted down the gates, and the so-called president had to flee. Then they got another president. Come to find out about this guy, he was at the fucking the WEF meeting, the WEF, World Economic Forum meeting. So he's a damn insider. So they don't want this guy to. They said, man, he's just as bad as the next guy, man. He's nothing but a puppet. So people are beginning to wake up. Uproars of the people. James, the 5th chapter. People are beginning to wake up. And nations are beginning to wake up. As if thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. And that's what they did. Kitty Hawk, the Wright brothers, they achieved a flight, which the Most High gave them that achievement. And now you have people go around the world on planes like it's nothing. They're in the outer space. That's Esau, man. That's Esau. For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High, saying they're going into space. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation. Who's the mount of the congregation? The Israelites, in the sides of the north. What part of the north? North America. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. They said that in Ezekiel 28. The Most High said, yet thou art but a man, and not God. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell. And the hell means you're not going to burn in hell, in some spiritual hell. It's talking about the grave. Your kingdom is going to die. Your kingdom is dying, like the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire died, and it came back into being again, to the sides of the pit. So you use the word, you got the word hell, then you got the word pit. So what does the word hell mean? It means pit or grave. Look up Capernaum. Was that city Capernaum exalted to heaven? No, it was living good. It was I believe a seacoast city. So they became rich through fish. You had all these people that were fishers. They were becoming rich. You had other regions of the Israelites come to get their fish. And fish was a big thing back then. It's a day that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms, that made the world as a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof? With what? You first did that with dropping bombs, H-bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So your power is your missiles. But now you have the great equalizer, because these third world nations now possess missiles. Let the weak say I'm strong. Beat your plows, beat your spears in the pruning hooks, or beat your pruning hooks in the spears. Let the weak say I'm strong. That openeth not the house of his prisoners, and we are the #1 prisoners. We are the #1 prisoners. All the kings of the nations, even all of them, lie in glory, everyone in his own house. You know what that means? That means we're gonna treat the nation fair. We're gonna put them in their land under their fig tree. Let me look that up. Fig tree. We're gonna treat them right, but we're gonna be over them. I believe that's in the book of Isaiah. I'm sorry, not Isaiah. Okay, this is one of them, Zechariah 3, verse 10. And that day saith the Lord of hosts, shall ye call every man his neighbor under the vine and under the fig tree. Another one, Micah 4, verse 4. But they shall sit every man under his vine and under his fig tree, and none shall make them afraid. For the mouth of Yahweh of hosts have spoken it. Because we're going to be fair to the people. We're not going to just be beating the shit out of these different nations. We're going to be beating the shit out of Esau. And we're going to put the nations in order. And every once in a while, we're going to have to kick them in the ass. You know? That's it on that. Let me go to Joel, and I'll close it. Joel 3. Go right to the point in 9. Oh, that's transatlantic slavery right there. Right there. Transatlantic slavery right there. And what comes after that? They're going into slavery, the Grecians. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians, that ye might remove them far from their border. We're on the other side of the world. We're all over the world, scattered. Behold, I will raise them out of the place whither ye have sold them. When we sold over here, the Americas and around the world, England, France, Haiti, okay? And will return your recompense upon your own head. To who? The Grecians. Who are the Grecians? You Edomites. And I will sell your sons and your daughters. We went into slavery. You got to go into slavery. And I will sell your sons and your daughters, who? The Grecians, the Edomites, into the hand of the children of Judah. And they shall sell them to the Sabians. Sabians are going to be our taskmasters, to a people far off. For the Lord hath spoken it, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. They're going to be forced to. Do proxy wars. 2023, the year the computer Socrates says it predicts 2023 is going to be a year where hell is going to overflow. The year of hell. Could this be the year of Jacob's trouble? Let them come up, beat your plowshares into swords, modern day swords, missiles, intercontinental ballistic missiles, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Assemble yourself and come, all ye heathen different nations, and gather yourself together round about them, because thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. The mighty ones are the angels. It speaks about the 4 archangels and they're bound in the great river Euphrates. So they're going to get this thing stirred up. This is beautiful, man. Anyway, like I said, I just wanted to say a few words. I went a little long, but with that, I'm going to say shalom.